I will attempt to answer this question in 3 parts. First of all, I've had something kind of similar to this happen. I work with the elderly, some of whom are close to death, and I have on occasion had a resident ask me to pray on their behalf, to pray for them. I've never had a resident ask me to pray with them, and I've tried to explain to the residents that I do not share their beliefs, that I am not a believer. I generally don't go with the word atheist, but I try and make it clear that I'm just not there with them. But they haven't always been understanding with this. They haven't been angry or lashed out, but on the occasions when this has happened, they seemed hurt, and I don't want to cause my residents pain. So I have tried to compromise, and I have told them that I will try and pray for them. I'll give it my best shot. And I've gone home that day, and I've done about the closest I can do to praying. Basically, if you're there, this is what I have to say. Would you please look upon this person kindly? But that's about the best I can do in that regard. Second part is basically that I have thought about what I would do if my mother was ever on her deathbed and asked me to convert. It's another case where I could lie and say yes, I convert, but in such a situation I would never want to treat my mother dishonestly. I'd rather give her a hard truth than a kind lie, even on her deathbed. I would, of course, tell her that I've always tried to keep my heart and mind open to the possibility, and if a God should ever reveal himself to me, herself itself, and should ever be able to resolve the logical questions that keep me from believing in a God, first of all, that it exists, second of all, that it is in fact kind, just, benevolent, then I would stay open to that if such an event could ever occur, that it would convince me and I would be a believer. But I would, not even on her deathbed, not even if she was dying, would I be able to. I'd be able to, but I have chosen to treat her honestly. For one thing, if I was ever wrong, if she was right, which of course I don't believe for a second, but I have to be open to all possibilities, and if she was right and I was wrong, and she ever woke up in the new system, in a paradise on earth after the end of all things, if she ever did and I wasn't there, I wouldn't want her first realization to be that I had lied to her. I'd rather her go out with my honesty and truth than a kind lie on my lips. Now, finally, to your hypothetical question, basically, if a believer asked me in his final moments to pray with him, I would, like with my mother, have to be honest and say that I don't believe. If he wanted me to give it my best try, I could do that. I could try and pray. I could try and project my hopes for this person out there. But that's the best I can do, and I couldn't bring myself to lie to a person. I think it would be ultimately disrespectful to a person if they are a true believer, and if they believe in honesty, if they believe that God doesn't want us to lie, wants us to deal with one another honestly. I can't bring myself to lie. The only exception to this is if this person seemed truly clinically insane, basically. That doesn't sound right, but basically if it did not seem like this person had the cognitive capacity to really understand what I was saying. If they were just down to, if they could basically only perceive acceptance or rejection, if they couldn't understand the finer points of what I was saying, if this person was delirious, delusional, then that one case I might say a prayer on their behalf, because I cannot bring myself to do something for the sole purpose of hurting them, if it doesn't serve a function of honesty, really. If they can't comprehend the truth of what I am saying, then I'm not going to reject them for the sake of my own pride. And that is a wrap.